William isn't just becoming king when Charles dies, he's becoming the one person Camilla can never escape. And one of these 20 moves, Diana saw it coming back in 1995. People close to the palace have been watching William quietly plan this for years. The situation for Camilla is straightforward. Every wall protecting her was built by Charles. The moment Charles is gone, those walls come down. William takes the throne. And William has not forgotten a single thing. This is the man who watched his mother cry on television. The boy who read the word Rottweiler in the tabloids before he even understood what it meant. He's been waiting his entire life for this moment. 20 moves, 20 decisions, 20 ways the new king can reshape the royal world that Camilla has grown comfortable in. All of it perfectly legal. All of it completely within his power. A royal source confirmed that William has already spoken with senior advisors about which changes can be made on day one. In this video, you'll see all 20 ranked from uncomfortable to absolutely devastating. Number 20, he can rename the household. The first thing William does as king costs Camilla nothing financially, but it costs her everything symbolically. Right now, the royal household operates under Charles's name. His staff, his offices, his branding. The moment William is crowned, he can rename and reorganize everything from top to bottom. He can dissolve the office Camilla has operated under for years. He can fold her team into a smaller, quieter structure with no fanfare, no announcement, no explanation. Just a quiet reorganization memo that tells the world Camilla's place in this new court is being redefined. It's the kind of move that doesn't make headlines on its own. But everyone inside the palace knows exactly what it means. The household Charles built around her disappears overnight. Number 19. He can strip her honorary military titles. Camilla holds several honorary military appointments, colonel-in-chief of certain regiments, affiliations with the armed forces that give her standing and prestige at military events. She wears those uniforms with pride. She reviews troops. She accepts salutes. Those titles exist because Charles gave them to her or allowed them to transfer to her. William, as the new head of the armed forces, can quietly remove each one. He can reassign them to Catherine, to Princess Anne, or simply leave them vacant. No dramatic press conference, no public statement. Just a letter, a reassignment, and one less uniform in Camilla's wardrobe. The woman who stood beside Charles at military commemorations becomes just a guest in the crowd. Number 18. He can move her out of Clarence House immediately. Clarence House is crown property. It passes to the new king like every other royal residence. William doesn't need to negotiate. He doesn't need to give her a grace period out of the goodness of his heart. He can give her a reasonable timeline, and royal sources suggest the word reasonable is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Harry wrote in Spare that Camilla had already turned his old bedroom into a wardrobe for her clothes. Imagine William walking through those same rooms knowing that. She has Ray Mill House in the Wiltshire countryside. She bought it in 1996 for £850,000 after her divorce from Andrew Parker Bowles. That is where she goes. Not the grand London residence, not the palace of a working queen. The countryside retreat of a woman quietly put out to pasture. Number 17. He can reduce her sovereign grant allowance to the minimum. The sovereign grant is public money, taxpayer money. It funds the working royal family's official duties, staff, travel, and expenses. Right now, Camilla's lifestyle as queen consort is almost entirely covered by this grant. Her wardrobe, her household, her staff, her vehicles. When William becomes king, he controls how that money is divided. He can choose to give Camilla the lowest possible allowance, technically enough to cover a small office and minimal appearances. No more lavish travel budgets. No more state-funded wardrobe. No more fully staffed household at public expense. William can frame it as modernization, as responsible spending, as reflecting Camilla's reduced public role. He'd be right on every count, and Camilla wouldn't be able to say a single word against it publicly. Number 16. He can reassign her ladies-in-waiting. Camilla's queen's companions are not just staff. They're her inner circle. Women she's known for decades. Friends who've shielded her, supported her, and traveled with her through the hardest years of her public life. When William becomes king, the palace restructures. He controls what roles exist and who fills them. He can reassign her companions to other royal duties. He can simply decline to reappoint them to Camilla's reduced household. One by one, the women who surrounded her quietly disappear into other corners of the palace or retire altogether. The group shrinks, the circle tightens, and Camilla finds herself increasingly alone in rooms that used to feel familiar. Number 15. He can block her from state events. William, as king, decides who attends state events, state dinners, diplomatic receptions, the state opening of parliament. He doesn't have to publicly ban Camilla. He simply stops inviting her. Or he gives her an invite but seats her somewhere so far from the center that the message is impossible to miss. Former queen consorts are not automatically entitled to attend these events. They attend at the invitation of the reigning monarch. William is the reigning monarch. He can fill those seats with whoever he chooses, and the woman who once sat at the head of the table at Buckingham Palace learns what it's like to wait by the phone for an invitation that might not come. Number 14. He can remove her name from official royal communications. Every year, the palace releases official statements, birthday messages, condolence notes, holiday greetings. Right now, those often carry Camilla's name alongside Charles's. When William takes over, the official voice of the monarchy belongs to him and Catherine. Camilla doesn't automatically get included. William can quietly ensure that her name stops appearing in the communications that matter. The public won't notice immediately. But inside the institution, everyone understands. Being removed from the official voice of the crown is being removed from the crown itself. She becomes a private person wearing a title that nobody talks about anymore. Number 13. He can reassign her patronages and charities. Camilla currently supports over 100 charities listed on the royal website, causes she's spent years cultivating, organizations built around her name and her royal status. When William becomes king, those charities will reassess their royal connections. Some will quietly ask whether Queen Dowager Camilla is the right figurehead going forward. Others will seek closer ties with William and Catherine. William can suggest, with the full weight of the crown behind the suggestion, that certain patronages be reallocated to Catherine. He can make clear which organizations have his blessing and which ones don't. For the charities, the choice is simple: the reigning king or the former queen. When a king makes a suggestion, it's not really a suggestion. Number 12. He can limit her security detail. As queen, Camilla has round-the-clock protection from specially trained royal protection officers. Armed, experienced, dedicated entirely to her safety. When she becomes Queen Dowager, her threat level is reassessed. She's no longer a primary target. Those officers will be needed elsewhere. William can authorize a dramatically smaller security footprint for Camilla. A couple of officers instead of a full team. No motorcade, no advanced security at venues. Just enough coverage that nobody can accuse him of leaving her unprotected, but not nearly enough to maintain the lifestyle she's been living. Every time she steps outside and counts the faces around her, she'll feel the difference. And number 11, he can deny her the use of the royal flight. The royal family uses government aircraft for official travel. It's a privilege tied entirely to royal duty. Right now, Camilla travels on those aircraft as queen. She boards with the ease of someone who has never had to think about how she gets from one place to another. When William becomes king, he controls who uses those planes. He can restrict Camilla's access entirely, limiting her to commercial travel or her own arrangements. No police escorts through airports, no VIP lounges at public expense, no government aircraft idling on a runway waiting for her. She books a seat like anyone else. For a woman who has spent over 20 years traveling as royalty, the first time she queues for a commercial flight will feel like a very specific kind of message. We've covered 11 ways: the public humiliations, the financial cuts, the quiet removals. But the final 9 are where it gets deeply personal. From her image to her legacy, from Diana's memory to Camilla's future, William holds every card. And he's about to play them. Number 10. He can promote Diana's memory publicly and officially. This is one William can execute with complete moral authority and zero need to mention Camilla's name once. He can commission an official national memorial for Princess Diana. He can establish a Diana Foundation with royal backing and palace resources. He can name public buildings, gardens, hospitals, and institutions after his mother. He can mark Diana's anniversary with official royal observances. He can ensure that Diana's image, her voice, her legacy is woven permanently into the official fabric of the British monarchy. Every time Camilla sees a Diana memorial, every time a building bears that name, every time a national anniversary marks Diana's life, she'll understand what William is doing. Not a word directed at her, not a single accusation, just Diana, everywhere, forever. Number 9. He can give Catherine everything Diana was denied. Diana was stripped of her HRH title after the divorce. She was removed from the prayer list at the Chapel Royal. She lost her place on the balcony in the family photos at the state events. She was pushed out slowly and deliberately. William watched all of it. He remembers. Now he can give Catherine everything his mother was denied. Every privilege, every honor, every title, every front row seat, every official recognition. He can make Catherine's position so leerly, so visibly elevated above what Diana ever got to keep, that the contrast writes its own story. And somewhere in that story, the woman who helped push Diana out will understand what it cost. Number 8. He can refuse to defend her publicly. When the tabloids go after Camilla, and they will, when the documentaries revisit Diana's years, when the anniversary coverage digs up old interviews, old footage, old wounds, a king defends the people he chooses to defend. Charles spent years defending Camilla. He hired PR teams. He worked the press. He brought her out slowly, carefully, and rebuilt her image brick by brick over 2 decades. William will not do this. He will say nothing. No palace statement defending her reputation. No quiet call to an editor asking them to soften a headline. Nothing. Just silence. And in the royal world, silence from the king is deafening. The tabloids will take that silence as permission, and they have decades of material to work with. Number 7. He can exclude her from George's coronation planning. Prince George will one day be king after William. When that coronation comes, the planning process will involve the entire senior royal family. It will be the biggest royal event of a generation. Camilla will be old by then. She'll be Queen Dowager, further removed from relevance with each passing year. William can ensure she has no formal role in that process. No committee seat, no consultation, no input. She will watch from wherever they decide to seat her, as Diana's grandchildren take their places at the center of British history. Her husband's family, the family she fought so hard to join, will carry on completely without her. Number 6. He can rewrite her official royal biography. The official royal website controls the narrative. Right now, it tells the story of Camilla's royal journey with care. Measured language, positive framing, a focus on her charity work and her role as queen. When William becomes king, those pages get updated. The language shifts. The framing changes. She becomes a historical figure in the story of King Charles III, as not a current one in the story of the living monarchy. How many lines get written? How many lines about her role in Diana's years? What gets included and what gets quietly removed? William controls that story. He's been living the other version his entire life. Number 5. He can bar her from Balmoral and Sandringham. The royal estates, Balmoral in Scotland and Sandringham in Norfolk, are among the most private and cherished properties the royal family owns. Balmoral was where Queen Elizabeth died. Sandringham is where the family gathers at Christmas. These aren't just properties. They're the emotional heartbeat of the monarchy. Camilla has spent years at both. She's walked those grounds as queen. She's gathered there as family. William owns both personally. They pass to him as part of Charles's private estate. He can simply stop inviting her. No formal ban, no public declaration, just a Christmas gathering where her name isn't on the guest list. A summer at Balmoral where her car doesn't pull through the gates. A family that no longer feels like her family. Number 4. He can support a documentary about Diana's truth. William has been fiercely protective of his mother's memory. He has spoken publicly about the damage done to Diana by the press, by the palace, by the people around her. He has the credibility, the platform, and the emotional authority to officially endorse a documentary, a book, or a series that tells Diana's story in full. Her own words, her own recordings, her own account of what was done to her and by whom. He doesn't need to narrate it himself. He just needs to give it his blessing. And once the future king says Diana's story deserves to be told honestly, every major broadcaster in the world lines up to tell it. Camilla's name will be in every frame. Number 3, he can give Diana a queen's honor posthumously. This is within his power as king. William can grant his mother a posthumous royal honor, an official recognition that Diana should have been queen, that she was treated unjustly, that the institution failed her. He could make it a quiet gesture or a national moment. He could establish a Queen Diana recognition in the official royal calendar. He could issue a formal statement acknowledging the palace's treatment of his mother in a way no reigning monarch ever has. Camilla would have to watch. She would have to sit still and watch the world receive the news that Diana has been honored. She would be expected to say something gracious about it, and she would know in that moment that William planned every second of it. Number 2, he can ensure she is never called queen again. Camilla fought 30 years to be called queen. Queen Camilla, not duchess, not princess. Queen, it is the title she sacrificed everything for. The title Diana never got to keep. The title that told the world Camilla had won. The moment William becomes king, she loses it. She becomes Queen Dowager, a historical footnote, a polite title for a widow. But here's what William can do that goes further. He can instruct the palace communications team, the court officials, the household staff to use Queen Dowager in all formal references. Every document, every announcement, every place card, at every dinner. No more Queen Camilla in official palace language, just Queen Dowager. A constant, printed, official reminder in black and white that her time is over and that she is defined now only by the man she outlived. Number 1, he can simply wait. This is the one that cuts deepest. And it's the one Diana might have predicted. William doesn't need to make dramatic moves. He doesn't need to issue statements or hold press conferences or publicly humiliate anyone. He just has to become king and do nothing for her. He can freeze her out so slowly and so quietly that the public barely notices. He can let the cameras follow Catherine. Let the headlines belong to George and Charlotte and Louis. Let the years pass. Let the public move on. Let the tabloids find other stories. Let Camilla fade, from front pages to side mentions to occasional retrospectives. He can watch her become irrelevant while Diana becomes a legend. While Diana's face remains young and frozen and beloved, while Camilla grows older and quieter and further from the crown she wore. He doesn't have to punish her loudly. He just has to let time do it. And he has all the time in the world. Camilla spent 30 years becoming queen. She endured the hatred, the protests, the tabloids, the public anger. She rebuilt herself piece by piece. She earned her place. She wore the crown. She became Queen Camilla. And it might all come undone not with a scandal, not with a public fight, but with a single moment. A king being crowned, a son taking the throne, a boy who held his mother's hand at her funeral, now holding all the power. Diana didn't win because the world remembered her. She won because the child she raised is about to become the most powerful person in Britain. And he was watching the whole time. 20 ways. William will punish Camilla the day he becomes king. Her title, her home, her staff, her security, her spotlight, all of it decided by Diana's son. She fought 30 years for the crown. William can spend the rest of her life making sure she never forgets what it cost. But here's what makes it even more complicated. Charles is still alive. And while he breathes, there are 30 protections he has written around Camilla that even William can't touch yet. Click here to find out what those 30 protections are and how long they can actually hold.